What's going on, YouTube? Out here in Tennessee, right below Knoxville, off 75. It's Thursday. It's fucking, what is it, January 31st. Going home tomorrow. Got to run over to Chattanooga, drop this load off, pick up another load in Chattanooga, and I'm going to the house. But yeah, so I wanted to make a video about my experience with Maverick Transportation. If you don't know who Maverick Transportation is, it's a very well-known flatbed company. Probably one of the best flatbed companies, I would say, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't know. I haven't driven for all the flatbed companies, but it seems like they're up there. They're not only flatbed, they have what they call TCD, also known as reefer, and they also have glass as well. They do not have dry van. But yeah, they were my first company I went to when I got out of driving school. This isn't a video to bash them in any way. I think Maverick's a great company. I think they're a really good company. I still wear their shirt, and I haven't worked there since October. Yeah, so my experience, how was it? So, they were the first company that I knew I really wanted to go to. Like, you know, you always have like a list. If you do enough research, you have a list of all these companies you want to go to. Me, I had a list of all the pros and cons of each company, pay, you know, insurance costs if their website told me that information. Man, I did research for months and months and months about these companies. And Maverick, at the end of the day, was the one I decided I really wanted to go to. I didn't really hear anything bad about them. I watched YouTube, Google, reviews, all kinds of stuff, man. Couldn't find really anything bad about them at all. But I knew before I started this that I wanted to start out doing flatbed for sure. So that's what I did. You know, I went to driving school, got out of driving school. You know, in driving school, they make you, well, at least at my driving school, they make you fill out like damn 30 job applications with different companies. I already knew I wanted to go with Maverick. I mean, I filled out the applications to get me through the school. And then, but I already knew. I knew where I was going. I knew where I was going before I ever went to driving school. Before I ever got out of the military, I'd already talked to Maverick. You know what I'm saying? I'd already talked to him. Went through the whole recruiting process, you know. Got out of driving school. And I was at Maverick like the next week after I got out of driving school. I didn't really want to take no time off. I kind of just, you know, went right into it. I get to Maverick. They keep you at a hotel on the, I want to say installation, but it's not an installation. On the terminal. They actually keep you on the Maverick, in the Maverick hotel. At least while you're in the orientation part. But yeah, I did that. I want to say the orientation, man, it's been so long. I want to say the orientation was a week. I think it was a week. From like 6 or 7 in the morning till like 4 in the evening. Whenever you got done, really. It wasn't bad. By no means to me. They were kind of strict. But I mean, it is what it is, man. Orientation's orientation, probably no matter where you go. But they were kind of strict. It wasn't really a big deal, you know. Then we go into the securement training. You do securement training for, I'm going to say you do it for a week too. I think it's a week that you do securement training as well. But you're not staying in the Maverick hotel at that point. They make you stay in a hotel not far down the street from the terminal, actually. But the whole process with, you know, orientation and securement training, the securement training was great. I still think the securement training was outstanding. How in-depth they go. They teach you all, you know, everything you need to know, they teach it to you. And it's really, really, really good. I really thought that their training program for that was outstanding. I mean, it was great. And they also have another thing, like once you get out in your own truck, if you have an issue with securement, like something you may have forgot or something you didn't go over in the securement training, because there's going to be loads that you don't do that's not simulated in the securement training that you're going to get when you're out there on the road. All you got to do is call the securement hotline, man. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They always got somebody with this little cell phone. Call them, tell them what you got. They might ask for a picture. Send it to them. You're not going to leave there without having an answer on how to secure it. They're going to make sure you're right before you leave. It's just up to you to make the phone call if you're unsure about something. But anyways, you get through with that, and then at the end of securement training, that's whenever they tell everyone who their trainer is going to be. You could be on your, I think the bare minimum time that you'll be with your trainer is 21 days. 21 days. That's the bare minimum. Now, if your trainer decides that you need to stay on his damn truck for his or her truck for like 7 weeks, 8 weeks, that's how long you're staying. Because I think you both have to be in agreement that you're ready to get off the truck. So I did that. Wasn't really, I mean, that wasn't bad. You just gotta be able to get along with whoever your trainer is, because you don't really, I mean, obviously you're not gonna get to pick who that is. You just gotta hope you don't get an asshole or somebody that's disgusting. You get someone that's disgusting, I'm sorry, that sucks, because they might be one of those assholes that want you to stay on their truck for 8 weeks because they want to make the money. What can you do? But my trainer was pretty good. His name was Tim Irvin. He was a good guy. He was from Tennessee, so we weren't that far apart as far as where we lived. So when he went home on weekends, you know, I stayed in a hotel some weekends close to where he lived, but I would drive home. I would go home. I think it was like 3 hours for me to go home. So when we would get home on like a Friday or Saturday, he would tell me what time we were going to meet back up and leave after the 34 or whenever. I would just be there, you know. And that's how that worked. It wasn't bad. I think I was on his truck for 4.5 weeks. Yeah, I was on his truck for 4.5 weeks. It wasn't bad. He was a good guy. I like him. Got my own truck, man. Ready to roll, you know. Taking on back to the recruiting days, you know. When I first started talking to the recruiter, man, recruiters are some recruiters are gonna stretch the truth, some of them are gonna lie to you, and some of them just flat out don't know the facts about what's really going on. So they say. So I was told, you know, Regional Midwest, which is a division in the flatbed, this is what I was told now. This is before I ever even got into a truck, had ever driven a truck. So I was going off based off what he was telling me. You know what I'm saying? What he was saying was the gospel. He said I would be running like a 5-state region. That's what Regional Midwest was. That's what he told me. Well, I get to orientation. That was a lie. We get in there and almost immediately they're like, so if you're running Regional Midwest, if you take a line on the very outside, if you look at the map, look at the left side of Texas, shoot that line all the way straight up the map, everything to the right of that, that's Regional Midwest. I was like, holy shit, I got lied to. There's lie number one. Wasn't really that big of a deal, because at the end of the day, I don't really care about where I go to. I really don't, but I still don't like being lied to. I mean, come on, let's have a little bit of integrity. Let's shoot me straight, man. And it wasn't that big of a deal. I was kind of irked about it, but it was like, whatever, man. I'm sure it's like this everywhere you go. Then line number 2 that I got fed by my recruiter, which I said this to him. Whenever you actually get to meet your recruiter during the orientation process. And I brought these 2 lies up to him. He acted like he had no idea. Of course. I was told that I would average between 22 to 2,700 miles per week. Alright. We get in the orientation. Our Regional Midwest drivers right now are averaging 2,000 miles a week. What the hell, man? 2,000. All right, that's an average. There's gonna be shitheads out there that don't run hard, and then there's gonna be people that do run hard, and then there's people in between. Got it. Whatever. So I get my own truck. Fast forward, I get my own truck. I drove a Maverick for 5.5 months, y'all. 5.5 months. Was my experience horrible? No. I'm not going to say my experience was horrible. I'm not even going to really say my experience was bad, because I really think Maverick's a great company. I do. I think they're a really good company. The cent per mile pay is high. I don't know what they're starting out at now, but when I started out, we started out when I was on my trainer truck at like 43 cents a mile. By the time I got in my own truck, I was making 52 cents a mile. Yeah, 52 cents a mile. Plus my PFP, which your introductory PFP is like 2 cents when you're on your like little probation period. I think you have to wait 6 months before you actually start qualifying for PFP. But mine was 2 cents, so I was really making 54 cents a mile. Yeah. Pretty good. My only downfall really with Maverick was, and probably, which is really the reason why I left, I didn't get in any kind of trouble. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't have like a falling out with them. It was none of that. The miles, man, the miles were so inconsistent. They weren't consistent enough for me. And what I mean by that is, one week I might have 1,800 miles. To me, that's bad. That's not good. But the next week I might have 2,400 miles. You know what I'm saying? I think the whole time I was there, because after I left, a guy called me. It wasn't very long after I left. He called me to talk about why I left Maverick, you know, if there was anything they could have done differently, if it was something they did, or, you know, trying to find out why I left, basically. And I told him, I was like, man, really? All it was the inconsistency in the miles. I was like, it just got to where I was waiting for loads. Like, I would get unloaded somewhere, and I might sit and wait on them to even send me a load for like 2 or 3 hours, man. And this started happening more and more and more. And it was so frustrating. I'm just like, man, this time, I'm losing money right now. You know, and that's the truth, you are. And, the inconsistency with the miles was basically the reason why I left, man, because my checks were fluctuating. So, to me, they were fluctuating a lot. Now, if I have a check one week that's $700, and then the next week my check is $1,100, like, you can't even plan nothing around that. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset at the time. You can't plan nothing around that because you don't know. I mean, yeah, I understand that's trucking. You know, people are going to say, well, that's trucking, man. It's very inconsistent. You never know. Like, that, I mean, in a sense, that is true. Do I believe that to be 100% true? No. Because when I'm sitting waiting for loads constantly, I feel like that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I probably could have brought it up, said something. But honestly, I mean, I was like, man, I've only been here for like 5 months. At that time, 5.5 months. I was like, my fleet manager's probably got 40 drivers on her board. Is she really going to take into consideration what I'm saying? Probably not. That was my mindset at the time. Now, once again, I'm not saying Maverick's a bad company. And like I said before in my last video, I'm not going to encourage anybody to go to any company. Because at the end of the day, that is your decision. But I'm also saying that I'm not saying that Maverick's a bad company at all. I really don't think they're a bad company. I think they're a good company. But that's just a decision that you got to make on your own, you know. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't have left. Sometimes I feel like I kind of jumped the gun when I left and kind of was a little impatient. When your paychecks are just fluctuating so bad like that, I mean, $400 to me is a big fluctuation from week to week. I'm not saying it happened every week. There were weeks I would get like 22, 23, 2,400 miles consistently for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, the guy called me after I left Maverick to find out what was going on. And I told him, you know, the inconsistency with the miles. And I was like, man, you know, the miles are so inconsistent, and I understand that someone might say, well, maybe you don't know how to run your clock. And that's very true. That can definitely be a reason why your paychecks are inconsistent, or why your miles are inconsistent. Because if you don't know how to run your clock, then they're having to plan your loads around how much time you got left, so you might be screwing yourself at the end of the day. But that wasn't the case. That my clock, that was me dealing with my clock, that wasn't the case. Because, I mean, there were weeks that I would have 24 and 2,500 miles. But there was also, again, weeks when I would have 17 and 1,800 miles. Like, I feel like if my clock was a problem, my miles would have stayed low more. They would have consistently been low all the time. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't the case. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I felt about it. Yeah, I don't feel like my clock management was the reason why. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I've probably only averaged like 19 to 2,000 miles, somewhere around in there. 19 to 2,000 miles a week the entire time I've been here. The entire 5.5 months. That's how many miles I've probably averaged per week. He's like, well, let me look real quick. Well, he looked. He's like, yeah, you, throughout your time here, you averaged 1,930 miles a week. I was like, yeah, I knew it was probably somewhere around in there, And to me, 1,930 miles a week, even at 54 cents a mile, that's not good to me. If you're having to rely on detention pay to make your paycheck better every week, I didn't like it. I'm not saying you shouldn't like it. I'm not saying it's just awful, but to me, I didn't want to do that. And yeah, that's a reason why I left. I feel like also I want my time away from my family to be worth it. If I'm going to be gone from my family 5, 6, 7 days at a time, I want my time to be worth it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be gone from my family working my ass off, doing flatbed, throwing chains, throwing tarps, sweating my ass off, for a $700 paycheck. To me, that's not worth my time. It really isn't worth my time away from my family. It's not worth my family's time. You know what I'm saying? And that's my view on it. And but like I said before, man, I'm not bashing Maverick, and in no means. It may sound like I'm bashing Maverick, but I'm really not bashing them. I really think they're a good company. I think they're a great company, especially for somebody coming out. I mean, their pay is pretty good as far as cent per mile goes. And like I said before, my experience might not be someone else's experience. You know what I'm saying? Just because my experience was unfortunate for me, in my eyes, doesn't mean everyone's experience is unfortunate with Maverick. Go look up YouTube right now and look up people who are talking about Maverick, or Google reviews on Maverick. You're not going to really find anything bad. You're really not. That's why I went to them. And like I said, I'm not bashing them now. That's why I left. Everybody has their reasons for leaving, and everybody's experience isn't going to be like that. Some people might average 25, 26, 2,700 miles there. I didn't. It's just how it worked out for me, And maybe I was impatient and I just left and jumped the gun too soon. I don't know. It doesn't matter now because I'm not there now, But your experience could be different. I don't know. You might go there, it might be exactly like mine. You might go there and you might average 2,800 miles a week doing flatbed. That'd be great, because you'd be making some jacks. But, yeah, man, I just wanted to make this video because, I mean, I think Maverick is a good company, and I felt like I should do, like, a video on my experience with them to let people know how it was for me. Because I know eventually people are going to wonder where I've worked, who I work for now, which I'm not putting out right now, anytime soon. But, yeah, that's basically the reason why I wanted to make this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot of good information out of it. I hope I didn't, scare you away from making your decision if you're planning on going to Maverick. I'm not saying don't go to Maverick. Not at all. If that's what you want to do it. I'm all about you making your own decisions and sticking with them, you know. But yeah, that was my experience. It wasn't horrible. Overall, I would say Maverick's a great company to start with. Maverick is probably a great company to retire with and drive for 20 years with. Might be. Different strokes for different folks, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's experiences are different. Everybody's opinions are different. And I hope this video was helpful. I hope I did, like I said, I hope I didn't scare anybody away. If you're thinking about going to Maverick, once again, that was just my experience. And like, subscribe, maybe share this video, so other people who may be thinking about going to Maverick can see it and to kind of see both sides. Because at the end of the day, most of the videos you're going to find about Maverick are good videos. And I'm not saying this one's bad, but most videos aren't saying really anything negative, and that's the truth. Also, I'd like to do a shout out to my boy Trucking with Tay. He works at Maverick right now. I think he's in the glass division over there. Yep. I think he said he's been there since August. He seems to like it. Also, Slim Trucking. He works for CalArc. You might see him. He used to work for Maverick. Actually, he was my roommate at the Maverick Hotel. We actually went through orientation together. Great dude, man. He'll tell you how Maverick is. I don't know if he's done... Yeah, he's done a review. He did a review on Maverick, I think. I think he's about to do a review, or like a comparison between Maverick and CalArc. But subscribe to both of their channels, man. Slim Trucking works for CalArc. Trucking with Tay works for Maverick right now. And yeah, subscribe to my channel too, man, because I got like 8 subscribers. So y'all have a good night and stay warm because it's freezing outside.